everyone is doing good and staying safe during this Easter week. Sorry I haven't been on in a while. I've been going through it to say the least. But as we know, today is Good Friday, so I'm sitting in front of my family's little Faith Over Fear cross for today's devotion. And for today's devotion, we're just going to read about the crucifixion of Jesus because that is what happened today. So I'm going to start with Mark 15:16 through 20. It says, "Then the soldiers led him away into the hall called Praetorium, and they called together the whole garrison. And they clothed him with purple, and they twisted a crown of thorns on his head, and began to salute him, 'Hail, King of the Jews!' Then they struck him on the head with a reed and spat on him. And bowing the knee, they worshipped him. And when they had mocked him, they took the purple off him, put his own clothes on him, and led him out to crucify him." So imagine, what Jesus is going through. Imagine, your friends or people that you know spitting on you and making fun of you and doing all of these mean things towards you. That's what Jesus went through. And the next couple of verses I'm going to read is, let's see, it's Mark 15:25 through 37. It says, "Now it was the third hour, and they crucified him. And the inscription of his accusation was written above, 'The King of the Jews.'" So imagine Jesus being nailed to this cross right here. There's a sign on his cross that says, "The King of the Jews." With him they also crucified two robbers, one on his right and one other on his left. So here's Jesus on his cross, and on the right and the left of Jesus, there are two other people being crucified, two robbers. So the scripture was fulfilled, which says, "And he was numbered with the transgressors." And those who passed by blasphemed him, wagging their heads and saying, "Aha, you who destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself and come down from the cross." So these people that are making fun of Jesus are saying, if you could destroy the temple and build it back up in three days, then why don't you just come down from the cross if you're that powerful? That's what they're asking Jesus. Likewise, the chief priests also, mocking among themselves with the scribes, said, "He saved others, himself he cannot save. Let the Christ, the King of Israel, descend now from the cross, that we may see and believe." So the chief priests, they are telling Jesus, you can save all of these people, but you can't even save yourself. They just keep making fun of him over and over and over again about how he can do all these miraculous things, but he can't save himself from what he's going through. Even those who were crucified with him reviled him. Now, when the 6th hour had come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. So imagine the day that Jesus is being crucified. After a couple of hours after he is crucified, around lunchtime, the whole earth just goes black like nighttime. How crazy would that be? And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, my God, why have you forsaken me?" So Jesus, the Son of God, is even asking his Father, "Why have you forsaken me? Why are you doing this to me?" Ultimately, he knows the answer because he knows that he died on the cross for our sins to save all of us. But even Jesus had doubts. Some of those who stood by, when they heard that, said, "Look, he is calling for Elijah." Then someone ran and filled a sponge full of sour wine, put it on a reed, and offered it to him to drink, saying, Let him alone. Let us see if Elijah will come to take him down." And Jesus cried out with a loud voice and breathed his last breath. So those are a lot of words, and it's kind of hard to break down. Obviously, we know that Jesus died on the cross for our sins to save us. But this is a little story that goes along with my devotion that kind of breaks it down with some pictures. So it says, Pilate's soldiers made fun of Jesus. They forced him to wear a robe and a crown of thorns. Then they bowed down and pretended he was king. When they got bored, they hit him instead. So these soldiers, they are bowing down to Jesus, pretending that he's the king, when really they don't even know that he is the king. And it says when they got bored and when they didn't have anything to do, they just decided to hit Jesus instead. So here is our picture here that we have. There are the soldiers, and there's Jesus with the thorns on his head, and he's wearing his robe in this picture. Finally, the soldiers took Jesus to be crucified. On Friday morning at 9 o'clock, the soldiers nailed Jesus to the cross. Jesus cried out, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." The sun climbed up the sky slowly, but at noon something strange happened. The sun dimmed and the whole land became dark as night. That's what we were talking about a second ago. Imagining, a little earlier, imagine that 9 o'clock this morning Jesus was nailed to the cross. And then at lunchtime, the whole earth goes dark. That would be pretty crazy, you know? And then here's our picture of Jesus carrying his cross to where he's going to be crucified. As the hours passed, Jesus grew weak. At 3 in the afternoon, he lifted his head and cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Then he let out his last breath. So just like I was saying a second ago, even, Jesus feels everything that we feel, and he's felt everything that we have felt and will feel. So when we feel doubtful and we feel like something may not happen, he's been in that same position before. He understands where we're coming from. And here is Jesus, a picture of Jesus nailed on the cross. You can see how much pain he's in, how sad he is. Just imagine, put yourself in Jesus' shoes and imagine how sad and hurt that he felt. Can you imagine how much Jesus suffered? Isn't it amazing that he loved us so much that he was willing to die for us? And I think today is just it. The crucifixion of Jesus, I know for me, makes me realize how blessed I am and how thankful I am that this day happened, so that he could save us all from our sins, so that we know that one day, if we know and trust Jesus, we can go to heaven and live with him forever and ever and ever one day. So I hope y'all have a great Easter week. I know there's not a whole lot to do on Easter this year, but I'll be praying for all of you. I hope that you can enjoy the Easter season even in the midst of all of this. I pray that you can come to enjoy this coming up Sunday, the resurrection of Jesus. I love you guys, and I will